Hey, it's Roman from Grand Theft Auto 4, and you're watching Invisible Walls on GameTrailers.com. Yes!
That's right. This week on Invisible Walls, we have a very special guest, Jason Zumwalt, the voice actor who plays Roman from Grand Theft Auto 4. Also sitting in with us today, we have Patrick Morales.
What's up, everybody?
Daniel Bloodworth.
Uh-huh.
Brooks Huber. I love to say it that way.
Yeah, I know. I love my intros. They're great. Huber.
Huber. And the sheriff.
Yeah.
First, we're going to talk about Ninja Gaiden 2, an exclusive for the Xbox 360. Apparently, according to Itagaki-san, it's his last ever Ninja Gaiden game. I reviewed it for the site, so everyone knows my opinion on the game, but just wanted to get sort of everyone else's impressions of it based upon your experiences with it. What did you guys think of it?
I've played the hell out of the build with Justin.
Me and
at one
Patrick
time.
played a lot of the preview build, but I don't know if they changed the difficulty or they changed anything else. Or
The first
placement or
3
anything
levels
like
of that preview build were balanced. Everything after that was not.
Well, are you a big fan of the gore? You like all that? Or does it kind of detract?
I don't think it detracts. One thing I did like about the game is that the gore is actually useful, because some parts of it's not an open world game and you get lost that often, but every once in a while you'll be in an area that kind of looks repetitive. There's like some cave networks that you have to work your way through. Sometimes the only way you know whether you're going the right way or not is when you backtrack and see these like legs and arms laying around. You're like, oh, I've already been here. So you turn around and like go the other direction. So I mean, it does kind of serve its purpose. I think it's really kind of just gratuitous in the end. You know, it basically sets the enemies up so you can do the obliteration technique, because once they've lost a limb or whatever, they're kind of helpless and stunned. You just tap the Y button, and then he'll finish them off, behead them, or whatever. For he does a different thing for every weapon. But it's a Team Ninja game. Their games have always been violent. They did a better job with the blood this time around. Like in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, a lot of the blood decals would like be stuck on the edge of a wall, and you'd see like this red blood poster like sticking off on the edge. But in general, I'm just really surprised at how unpolished the game is. I mean, I came across so many bugs. Like
even in the last build, we still had more bugs.
Yeah. Even in the last one, it's just weird loading pauses. Bosses glitch out. Last night I was playing it. There was a boss.
Floating blood splatters.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it was in Sigma in that regard. But like last night I was fighting a boss in this network of tunnels, and basically what happens is the boss is the exact shape of the tunnel, and he comes barreling down the tunnel. So what you're supposed to do is jump up and slash him, and then he'll stop and you can attack him. But if you don't, he just like sort of barrels you all the way through the tunnels until he spits you out at the beginning again, and you repeat the process. Well, he was pushing me back through the tunnels. I didn't time it right. He was pushing me back to the beginning, and I managed to slash him in the middle of it, and he just disappeared. His health bar went down to 0, and I went through the whole network of caves, and he was just gone. There's just all kinds of little glitches and loose ends like that.
Maybe that's why it's Itagaki's last Ninja Gaiden game.
I don't think that he's run out of ideas for the series. I think the engine that they have has run out of possibilities.
Yeah.
Do you think it's kind of like an ultimate expansion pack for Ninja Gaiden or something like that?
Well, I mean, it's all new. I mean, it's a whole new story. Rachel wasn't even in the game. So it's a brand new game. It's just built on the same exact engine, and the engine is very restricting,
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put Ninja Gaiden 2 on a pedestal when, you've seen games like Sigma where it already polished the next-gen Ninja Gaiden formula.
And that's the real kick in the pants, too, is that Ninja Gaiden 2 doesn't look any better than Sigma, really.
Yeah.
Like, the blood decals are a little bit better, but basically they look identical. I mean, there's really no improvements to the 360 version at all. Maybe a few more enemies on screen, but then you start getting frame rate problems. So,
what did you really like about the game, though?
The combat. I mean, it's still the best action combat in the industry, hands down. Even the Acolyte setting on this game is going to kick most people's asses. And, they tried to make it easier. There are a lot more save points in the game, but the average person picking up that game is just going to get their ass handed to them. And I think they need to reevaluate. I know they're all about being hardcore.
Oh, hey, just real quick, talk about the Ninja Cinema thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it cool? Does it work?
No, I mean, it works, but it's not cool.
Well, do you think people will be making really awesome videos and sharing them?
Yeah.
Skate videos kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, they'll do some cool stuff probably. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them will probably be glitches from the game out there. The problem is when you're watching them yourself, you can't rewind or fast forward them. You have to start them at the beginning and watch the whole thing. hopefully there'll be some kind of a ranking system where people can rate movies. Unfortunately, that's something we weren't able to check out before we reviewed it because obviously the game's not out yet. Next up is Media of the Week, where we check the site out and try to find some hot stuff people may have missed. Bloodworth, what did you see floating around the internets this week?
Well, yeah, obviously for me, the Resident Evil 5 trailer.
Yeah?
Absolutely huge.
Yeah?
How do you miss that?
Yeah?
Yeah, you're not going to miss that, but that's definitely my media of the week right there. I've been knee-deep in it, so.
Yeah. Daniel actually worked on our pop block for Resident Evil 5 for the new trailer. What were some of the cool things? In fact, that's my media of the week, damn it. Our pop block for Resident Evil 5. There's so much cool little stuff in that trailer that you don't realize until you start slowing it down frame by frame, right?
Yeah, definitely. Lots of little details, nooses hanging from the ceiling and this guy with barnacles on his head pushing pillars over and just like little things like, you see the laser sight on the girl's gun and see how it's wired onto the gun. Mm-hmm. And just see that level of detail. Yeah.
He claims he found Slim Shady in the video.
Oh, yeah. I have a picture of Eminem that looks just like this guy, so.
Maybe that's what Eminem's up to lately.
He's definitely not making good hip-hop, that's for sure.
Dave Chappelle and just disappeared in Africa.
Well, and then I love the one shot in the trailer, too, where the parasite or whatever comes out of the guy's mouth and then it goes back in and he wipes off his mouth.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely good stuff. What about you, Patrick Morales?
I want to say that my media of the week was the Prince of Persia trailer because I am looking forward to that game. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, after seeing it, I wasn't really too,
Thrilled.
Well, the weird thing was that it's a cel-shaded game.
Yeah.
And then they put out this trailer that's like
looks nothing like cel-shaded.
Yeah.
I think it's there, but very subtly. They didn't really play up that cel-shade aspect of it. But the thing that I really didn't like was the super cartoony kind of moves they were doing towards the end. It looked too circusy.
When they were holding
Thinking
hands.
thinking about Six Revolutions on it looks like they're skydiving or something.
It reminded me of Heavenly Sword. I mean,
even
flying
Heavenly
way up into the
Sword.
sky and like doing unrealistic, gravity doesn't exist type maneuvers. And
That's true, but for a trailer, the Prince of Persia trailer had some pretty weak cuts in it. It wasn't really polished. Certainly diminished my interest in it, but I guess it's still worth a look because it is a whole new look for the series.
I think the dude looks like Strider.
Yeah.
I can see
He
that.
does.
Like, hey, nice colors. I like the scarf.
I think the interview with the developer was really good too.
yeah, a lot of surprising. I'm surprised how much information they give up during that interview for the first time. Usually it's like, well, here's the story and here's a couple gameplay concepts. Where like that dude just spilled it, man. I remember I was standing there doing an interview and I was like, wow, you're not holding anything back, man. Everything I asked, he answered. It wasn't one of those, well, we're not talking about that yet.
And I'm kind of happy they're ditching the whole Sands of Time thing to start something new. I know some people are like trying to hold on to that concept, but
The whole
clean slate.
rewind mechanic.
Like
and-
Grid, the sense of time are in Grid now.
Yeah, they just kind of shifted over to the racing platform.
What about you, Brooks? What did you like on the site this week?
All right, here is a collection of Metal Gear Solid television spots that you might have missed that Bloodworth showed me. And these are pretty neat because each television spot is like about 30 seconds roughly, and they show little teasers about the game using...
Yeah, they're all advertising the actual private military companies that
one's
are in the game rather than the game itself.
Yeah,
and I think there's still some
live actors.
confusion as to where they're actually going to... I don't think they're showing them on TV, but they're like made as if they were going to show them on TV.
Uh-huh.
The squid spot makes no sense whatsoever.
But it's awesome.
It is. It's completely awesome. But why would you spend so much money to make that when no one's going to even know what it's for?
And it's too pink.
They did this stuff, this is a lot cheaper, but they did this stuff back with Perfect Dark where they made like the websites and everything for these companies that were in the game.
I like the motorcycle praying mantis one where he's dodging through the streets and the mantis is coming up on him and he just gets stabbed right in the heart.
Yeah.
Little blood stain going on.
Actually, I rescind my media of the week. my media of the week is Sunny cooking eggs.
Well, you kind of said that you didn't give us your media of the week. You gave us your anti-media of the week.
That's true. But instead of my anti-media of the week, it'll be
the
Sunny
Death
cooking
Clock
eggs.
one, yeah.
that one's pretty cool.
Ubisoft babies? What?
Yeah. There's your Wii exclusive, Wii fans. Babies.
Babies and dogs.
Change your diaper with the Wii remote.
Oh, can't wait.
What about all the other stuff from Ubisoft Ubi Days?
I don't care for it.
Yeah.
You don't care about the Endor demo? or
Beyond
anything?
Good and Evil 2?
No, sir.
Beyond Good and Evil 2, I don't know.
What
Not
about-
my favorite?
Yeah, what
Plain
about Beyond
Raymond?
Good and Evil 2? I mean, it's
Okay.
It's a weird teaser.
well, it's a weird teaser, but it's weird that they're even making the game. It's like
Yeah.
Michel Ancel listened to like the 200 people that actually wanted a sequel. He's like, well, let's just dump $100 million into this fan service. It's like the first game was really good, but it just didn't resonate with anybody. And now-
Well, it came out at a really crowded time in the market in November.
Prince of Persia.
They were advertising Prince of Persia instead of that game.
what did you see on the site this week, Spear?
I'd love to see video of the new Wii Fatal Frame. I've seen some new scans. Looks kind of cool.
It looks like it's
I'm
pre-rendered.
fine with it being on the Wii. Oh yeah, they're showing you cutscenes and stuff like that, but it should it should still be okay.
So is that your vote now? Scans of Fatal Frame 2?
If
Or Fatal
if
Frame
a
2?
user made it a slideshow, then yeah, go for it.
All right, next up we have Jason Zumwalt, who is the voice of Roman from Grand Theft Auto 4. Now, you and the voice guy who did Nico from the game have been sort of making the rounds lately. What's going on with this, the uprising of voiceover guys from the video game industry?
We're tired of being kept down by the man. We're here to kick some ass. No, we're just, it's, people figured out who we were, and they asked the right, questions and pushed the right buttons, and it came out that we're not millionaires after doing the greatest video game of all time. So everybody's interested in that, I guess.
Now, I don't want to get into it too much, because obviously you've been asked these questions a million times, but how do you really feel on the topic? I mean, do you think that you have got what you deserve? Do you think you deserve more?
Well, it's weird, I mean, it's like, for what I showed up maybe like once or twice a month for a year and a half. And between putting on the skin-tight like motion capture suit and acting out the scenes with Mike, and between doing the coming in and laying down the voice over the images that we created, I got paid pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, they paid me SAG scale for every day that I came in, and I felt okay with it. Then you see like $600 million. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're like, well, it'd be nice, but you can't blame the game people. You can't blame Rockstar for doing that, because there's no precedent right now for how much we get paid. They didn't have to pay us as much as they did. You know what I mean? So I don't really blame them. I'm not going to say I blame SAG, because, well, you could blame SAG if you want to. You
gotta blame
it's not like
somebody.
video games have been around, for 30 years now.
Right.
It's like, so, yeah, SAG needs to get on the ball if actors in video games want to make more money.
I hear the guy that did Pac-Man originally got the shaft.
Oh, yeah. He's living in a bridge downtown.
Paid him an arcade token.
Under a bridge downtown.
The van down by the river.
Yep, yep.
Did an agent set it up for you? And shouldn't your agent have researched how much money the past Grand Theft Auto games had made?
My agent didn't know that it was Grand Theft Auto.
Oh.
When I went to the audition, I didn't know that it was what it was. It was a game called Frozen. So I walked away and I was like, that'd be fun to do. And without a callback, I got chosen for the role. And I showed up to rehearsal and I got my sides. It just felt like it was Grand Theft Auto. The way the scenes played out.
What kind of direction did they give? Did they want you to use a certain accent, or?
Well, yeah, they definitely. When I got the role, they sent me Serbian films, so I ignored those completely and just went with my hackneyed Russian quote unquote accent. I asked the girl. I said, "Is this game really called Frozen?" And she goes, "No." And I go, "Well, what is it?" And she looks at me and she thinks, and then she goes, "It's the new Grand Theft Auto." And I go, "Oh." I was like, "Is it for the new gen consoles?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh." So I immediately had a braingasm, and she immediately pulled out a 30-page thick non-disclaimer thing that I had to sign away, all of my bragging rights.
Now, your accent, is this something that you've done your whole life, or did you just work it up for the audition?
I was trying to. I've always had a pretty good ear for accents. I actually just auditioned to do a French accent for this other movie,
Why don't you do Roman from France?
Roman from France. Nico, my cousin. So glad you are here. I was afraid at first that I was going to do the acting in front of the camera, and then they were going to pick like a famous actor, which they've done, to do like the Russian voice. So I really just it was all gusto. I was like, I just put everything into it, you know what I mean, and made it mine. And I remember I think it was the second time that I was called back to do motion capture. They said, the director let it slip. He was like, yeah, they're actually going to use your voice. And I was like,
Awesome.
sweet. Yeah. So that was exciting.
So you actually go in and you act out these scenes while you're doing the voiceover.
Yeah, like all of the cut scenes, we acted out in front of the camera, where I'm in the dumpster, where I get in fights, where I get kicked in the basketball court, all that stuff we acted out.
Have you been playing the game? Have you finished the game?
I have been playing the game. I haven't finished the game. I'm 23% into the game. I've just been busy lately with the other stuff that I do.
Now, would you consider this your big break? Is this sort of something that's putting you over the top, or was this just another gig along your career and just another paycheck?
I haven't done anything where radio stations and Mexican newspapers are calling to talk to me before. So I guess this is the closest thing to a big break that I've had thus far. So I mean, I'm not going to brush it off. This is no small bananas or anything. So it's pretty cool. I mainly do a lot of voice acting. I mean, you've probably heard my voice a lot and just didn't even realize it. So
Want to do a character we may recognize?
there's not just. It's mostly like Reynolds rap. You know what I mean? It's mostly stuff like that. Or like I'm the voice of the talking bed in a Burger King commercial. Have you seen that? It's just like,
I'm going to YouTube it, though.
yeah, it's
Talking
just,
Bed Burger King.
Yeah, I'm that.
I could be filled with cheese.
I guess in some ways, a lot of people who do voice acting for games may look at you as maybe a martyr. You're sort of the first person who's spoken up and been like, hey, what's going on here? All this money's being made on the industry. It's not trickling down maybe the way it should be.
Right.
How do you feel about that? Does it make you feel proud that you're the first guy to sort of strike out there? And
Just make you feel whiny for the.
that honestly
Yeah,
is
that's the
feeling
thing.
good.
You know, I don't want to be the guy who's like, raining on the parade or anything. Because the truth of it, like when I found out what I was doing, I was like, this is like being in the next Godfather. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to ruin the experience for myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? By bitching. And the thing was, I mean, you're talking about the video that I made, right? The video, I was not at all serious.
We watched it and we knew it was a joke. Totally, it was hilarious. It's really funny.
That the Rent Roman thing is not in truth fact. It's
But
not
some
all
people did think it
factual.
was real.
Yeah, some people do.
Did you get any PayPals or anything like that?
Yes. People want me. This guy's like, yeah, we want you to come down to a rap party. We're launching a website. And I was like, I don't really do that. So it's kind of weird. But, I've got a couple of MySpace friends out of it, so whatever.
We'll call it even.
So am I a martyr? I didn't want to be, which is why I pulled down the video. Rockstar contacted me, and they were a little upset for all of these reasons. And
What was that conversation like?
the conversation was like, multi-million-dollar corporation unhappy. Okay. Okay, I guess I could take off my YouTube video. But then, people have I think it's still on game trailers right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got that. That's great.
Kids download it and post it. As soon as we take it down, someone else will put it right
Yeah,
back
they
up.
grabbed it. It's got like 80,000 hits right now on YouTube. It's not. I'm not getting anything for that, and that's fine.
So is it safe to assume that Rockstar did not offer you any sort of monetary compensation when they called?
Yeah, pretty safe. It's pretty safe. They offered quite the opposite.
Take away.
We won't go into that. So what's next for you? What do you plan on doing next? Going to do some more games, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do games as they come along, and I'm doing mostly like online comedy videos. That Rent Roman was a part of the series that I do on YouTube with 60 frames called I Am Zumwalt.
Okay.
And we just we take the piss out of like pop culture and whatnot. So we also have the post show, which we were working with Super Deluxe on, and
Nice.
we're just keeping busy doing online series and stuff like that. So yeah. But as as soon as a game comes along, I'll do it, man. I'll do it. It's fun.
Well, it's a shame Roman probably won't be back for another Grand Theft Auto.
So here's the thing: have you guys finished the game?
Yes.
I did.
Did you die in every scenario?
I don't know. I'm going to have to
Not
plug my
for me.
ears.
Not for you. I lived.
Yes.
So there's a possibility because I
Sequel
either
time.
die or live. And when I talked to them, they were like, "Because we want to bring you back."
Right.
So I was like, "Well, hey, spoiler alert. It's a possibility. Roman may live." So
Roman lives.
We'll see.
Well, thank you so much for coming in, man.
Thanks.
We really appreciate it.
Appreciate
Good
it.
luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
Nico, my cousin! I can't believe it, you're here! Welcome to America!
All right, next up is On the Hook, where we answer your questions. But I've got to say at this point, you guys got to step it up. I know this is your favorite part of the show, but the questions we've been getting have been, well, I'm not going to be too mean, but I will say if the questions don't improve, we're going to have to cut this segment from the show. So start sending us some better
An
questions.
ultimatum.
It's the ultimatum, yeah.
Breaking hearts.
Regardless, we've dredged up some of these questions from the bottom of the internets to present to you here today on our shiny happy show called Invisible Walls. And Daniel Bloodworth has our first example.
This one is from Lurkero.
Lurkio.
Yeah, I think that's a combination of a Pokemon and
I think it's Lurker.
Lurkero.
You say the O part after you reveal yourself.
Right. Lurker. Oh!
And he asks, with so many companies leaving the ESA and refusing to attend E3 due to the extensive costs and lack of motivation,
they're not motivated to attend E3. You know what? I just don't feel like doing E3 this year.
What has E3 done for me lately?
it seems like E3 and other big media conferences will be a thing of the past. Do you guys prefer to attend the big conferences or the Gamers Day events of the individual developers and publishers?
I tend to like the Gamers Day events because they can spend more money on me as an individual.
Yeah.
But, the big shows are cool too. No, I miss old E3. You know.
I do too.
I have fond
E3 of
memories.
yore.
Dude, these Gamers Days are gonna kill us. It's like it's E3 like year round. It never stops. Like our jobs are nuts now. Like literally, like every week there's like 3 or 4 of us going out to go cover something.
On the press side, I guess it's more convenient going to the big events because it's just all in one spot. After your interview.
Well, then again, I mean,
slots
E3
down.
you have to like set up a war room if you're like outside.
Yeah.
It's hard to get things done. You're like running, dodging through crowds. But it's kind
Trying
of
to
fun
keep
too.
all those
but
appointments,
I mean,
yeah.
Personally, I prefer the big show stuff. It's like I get charged when I go to those things. It's like everybody like hustling around and like everyone's all psyched and you're always running into other journalists and like, what did you see? What did you see? I saw this. Well, I saw this. And it's like there's a whole buzz about it. When you go to these publisher events, it's like you get there, you set up your cameras, you sit in that same spot the whole night, you wait for them to bring like your interview subjects
go to the bar a
you.
few times.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's just like a routine. There's nothing exciting about it for me. I mean, obviously the games are exciting, but as far as this guy's asking about the events themselves, and to me, I prefer to do the big events. I just think there's more buzz. All right, Patrick, you have another one for us.
Yes, this one is from actually a pretty cool username, Thaddeus Muncher.
What's a Thaddeus?
It's a name.
That's the name.
Well, then what's he munching?
Maybe he's
munching
munching.
the Thaddeus.
people named Thaddeus.
Yeah.
It's a cannibal.
Just looking through the phone book.
We have more fun with
Thaddeus.
the names.
It
than
could be his
that.
last name.
Yeah, it's like
could be.
Sarah Connor, but it's like Thaddeus.
I have no idea what that means.
This guy's question is, what's the deal with the Rock Band ripoffs? Is the new Guitar Hero even Guitar Hero anymore? And then Konami does one. I know lots of gamers get clones, but something this niche does need it.
Lots of gamers get clones, and lots of games get clones, too.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Rock Band
Where's
itself
my
is a
clone?
ripoff of Guitar
Send
Hero.
him to work tomorrow, and I'll just sit at home on my ass and play games.
You play Rayman with your ass.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Patrick.
Yeah.
No problem.
Poor kid's trying to read a question.
Well, just to get the record straight, Rock Band itself is a ripoff of Guitar Hero, and even Guitar Hero before that with Konami's game. What was it?
Guitar Freaks.
Yeah, Guitar Freaks. So,
Well, Rock
They
Band, I
kinda
mean, to be
did their own
fair,
thing, yeah.
I don't know if I'd call it a
Same
ripoff.
developers, yeah.
I mean, first of all, they developed Guitar Hero, the Rock Band guys. And secondly, they created a whole band. It's not just the guitar. So, I mean, it is a unique idea to bring all the different elements together because, they've had taiko drum and all these different rhythm games. But to bring them all together into one, to make one song, I think, is innovative. and probably wasn't all that easy to do.
But they're definitely doing something kind of counterproductive with all these spin-offs. I mean, you have Guitar Hero World Tour. They're going to have their own drum kit now, and Konami's going to do their own thing as well.
Do we need anything? Do we even need a Rock Band 2? Just keep giving me new songs.
Well, they're doing more things in Guitar Hero
World
to
Tour,
like
yeah.
create your own songs
Song.
and stuff like that, improvise more.
That is one thing I wish Rock Band did have, I think, was the ability to like write your own songs and then play them as a band and then maybe upload a video. I mean, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Brooks, you have our last question
All right,
of
is
the
this
day.
Lucky or Lunchy or
Lucci.
Lucci? Why do you think they release games when they're only 50% done? I know that some companies want the game to be out when it's supposed to be, i.e. Iron Man, but wouldn't it be better for the game and the company to make a 100% game instead of disappointing us gamers? I wholeheartedly agree. Going back to Iron Man, I thought that was a mistake. They released it too early. I was actually looking forward to the game.
I think
A
it's
little
like we were
bit.
talking about with licensed games in the first place.
Yeah.
Because people buy it. If you keep buying bad games or unfinished games, they'll keep making them. They don't care.
I think a big problem lies with just the finishing the game off, the polishing section, bringing in the bug testers and making sure they find all those little quirks sometimes too, like you were talking about Ninja Gaiden 2.
Gaiden.
Gaiden. I've heard both.
That's a pet peeve of mine, by the way, and it is Gaiden.
Is it Gaiden Eltor?
Gaiden.
No.
It's
Well,
Gaiden.
in middle school, it's like it was always Gaiden.
All right, tangent.
And Ryu, Ryu, Gaiden,
Ryu.
Gaiden.
I hate Mario.
Yeah, I hate that too.
Mario.
What other pet peeves do we have?
What was I
Let's
saying?
just name them all.
Ninja Gaiden 2 had
Right.
a few bugs that could have been easily avoided if they had pushed it back
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Microsoft felt like it had an option. I don't think Team Ninja felt like it had an option either because they probably signed a contract with Microsoft saying you get X amount of dollars if you deliver game on day X.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
out you go.
As fun as video games are, it's still a business.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They gotta do.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you for tuning in and watching our humble little video cast. I want to thank Jason Zumwalt for stopping by and sharing his experience with working on one of the biggest games in the industry and for giving us a totally inside scoop on Grand Theft Auto 4. Don't know if he realizes that he probably shouldn't have been talking about them bringing him back for the next game, but we'll take it. Justin, how can people interact with our wonderful show?
I think they can send us the emails at invisiblewalls@gametrailers.com. They can go to our website and crawl around and leave comments on our blog if we remember to make one at invisiblewalls.gametrailers.com.
And remember, kids, you got to bump up the quality quotient of those questions, or we're gonna have to cut on the hook.
I guess the erupting out of a volcano isn't a good enough incentive for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, what do they want, man?
We're offering to the world.
Kids today are spoiled, man. They have everything. They probably already have a volcano in their backyard, and they're like, screw that. I can put my dog
Mom
in
and
there
Dad
and
bought
shut
me
it
a
down.
volcano.
Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you all next week. Invisible Walls out.
Reynolds rap.